We're now going to look at how to find the mean and variance. So hopefully you've already watched video, 1A, on mean and variance of raw data, and now we're going to look at mean and variance of data that's been put into a frequency table, either a normal one or a grouped one. I'm using a grouped frequency table here because it's the harder version, and also it reduces to the simple version of just a normal frequency table that hasn't been grouped. So the first thing we're going to do is work out what the midpoint of each of the groups is, and you do that by adding together the ends and dividing by 2. So 0 add 4 over 2 is 2, so we basically replace the whole group with the number 2 as a guess of what those two people said. Then 5 add 10 over 2, that's 7.5. So we just guess, we don't know what those people said, something between 5 and 10. 11 add 16 divided by 2, 13.5. 17 add 20 divided by 2, 18.5. And 21 plus 30 divided by 2, 25.5. That's a 5. So all of these groups, once you've done that, use the end points. So you add up the end points and divide by 2. That's going to give you some values for basically x or h, or whatever you want to call it, h for height maybe. And then we can just ignore the groups really and just pretend they weren't groups to start with. So I've reduced down the case of group data to non-group data by taking midpoints of the ends of the groups. And now we can get on and find the mean. So we know that to find the mean, we basically start by adding up all the x's. Now remember with frequency tables that these numbers in the frequency column just tell you how many people said that thing. So always remember that this is frequency. We've got 22 actual people and they all give different amounts of data when we measured whatever we're measuring, in this case height. So we're going to add them all up. So we're adding up 22 different numbers. We're adding up height 2, that happened twice, and 7.5, there were 4 people like that, and 13.5, there were 6 people like that, and 18.5, there were 5 of them, and 25.5, and there were 5 of them. So this is what we're going to add up. And that comes to 335. So that's all the x's added up, and n is the total number of people, which is 22. These add up to 22, all the frequencies, because it's 22 people altogether. So the mean is going to equal the sum of all the x's divided by n, which is 335 divided by 22. We do full calculator display first, 15.2272727 blah blah blah, and then 3 significant figures. And that's our mean there. So now variance. Again, we're going to add up the end points of the group. 0 add 4 divided by 2 is 2. And 5 add 10 divided by 2. And 11 add 16 divided by 2. 17 add 20 divided by 2. 21 add 30 divided by 2. And that gives us the midpoints. Now for the variance, we need to square the x's and then add them up. And this is really important. Do not, I'm going to write this because that's how important it is, do not square frequencies. Okay, the f does not get squared. It is not relevant what, for example, there's 4 people in here. 16 is not relevant to anything. What we're trying to do is take the heights of those people, which we're guessing was 7.5 each, and square them. So we're doing, for the first group, 2 squared, 2 people were that height. And then 7.5 squared, there were 4 people that height. Notice I am not squaring the frequencies, I'm squaring the x's. 13.5 squared, height squared, 6 people said that, or were that height. 18.5 squared, there were 5 people, and 25.5 squared, the height squared, the x value squared, that was 5 people, and that's what we add up. And that comes to 6289. So, variance is the sum of x squared over n minus the real actual mean, don't forget, not the like simplified version of the mean, the exact mean squared. So that's 6289 over 22, because there were 22 people in this survey, minus the mean, which I can't remember what that was, 335 over 22, that was the mean, squared. So that comes out to be, just stick in the calculator, 335 divided by 22 squared, 53.99380165. So to three significant figures, 54.0. If you wanted to find the standard deviation, then you would square root this. Don't square root the simplified version. The square root of this is how you get the standard deviation. Okay. So your turn. Here's some data that I've made up, some group data. You're going to try and find the mean and the variance. So pause the video, follow the steps that I've just done with the other example, and then unpause and check your answers. Here's the answer to the first bit, the mean. So the total amount of data, these are all the people, 12 people, 16 people, 21 people, 18 people, 14 people, 12 people, makes a total of 93 people. I found the midpoints of the groups by adding the ends and dividing by 2, and then I've added up all the x's to get 2534.5, and then used the formula for the mean, clear substitution in, full calculator display, and then final answer to three significant figures. And here's variance. So I've made a note up here of the mean that I got a minute ago, the exact mean, because I'm going to put that exact mean into the variance formula in a minute. Again, the midpoints here, they come from adding the ends and dividing by 2. And then I've made sure that I did not square the frequencies. Look, none of the frequencies got squared. Good, well done me. That adds up to 80210.25. And then putting that into the formula, I've got, there's the formula, clear substitution into the formula using the exact mean, and then full calculator display here, and then finally three significant figures for the final answer.